Hi everyone! Our applications are quite often facing problems with performance. In the beginning everything is fine, but after some time it starts to slow down. The question is, why is this happening? It is often caused by incorrect configuration and scaling of web server or incorrect scaling of the database. So I talk here about optimization of the database reads and writes. And in this episode and in the next episode, which will be released next Friday, I would like to focus on these two topics from the perspective of relational databases. Today we are going to focus on the read side, so how to optimize your read side. And of course we can talk here about the indexing and missing indexes on the database tables, but this is something that I would like to talk maybe in the other episode. Today, I want to focus on the stuff related to the database infrastructure. What to do if we start having problems with performance. One of the main issues here is that we are receiving a lot of read operations from a lot of different customers. And one idea here, how to optimize this read queries, is that we can split our customers to separate databases. So in practice, it will look like customer A has its own database, customer B has its own database, customer C his own database, and so on. This is one of the possible solutions. However, of course, it will require change of the application logic. Second option that we have is that you can use master and slaves concept from the database's perspective. How would it work? You will have one master database, and in this master database, you will be saving write requests. So whenever something comes with a write request, then you are storing it in this database, and afterwards it is replicated to slaves, so other databases that will be used only for read operations. So here you have one write database, and this is this master, and as many slaves, as many read databases that you would like to have. Here the drawback will be this data replication, because you need to make sure that whenever the data is stored in this write database, then it is propagated to all slaves, and then whenever someone reads something, he receives the same results as the second or the third user. Another option to go, if you, let's say, have a lot of read databases and it's starting killing you, so it's quite painful to add new read database replicas, is that you can include here cache in between. How would it work? It will be quite similar to what you had before. You will have your write database to which the write requests will come. And when the write request comes, it is storing this data not only inside database, but as well in cache. So next user who will be reading this information, so who would like to read the information from the database, he won't be hitting directly the database, but he will just read the data from cache. Of course, there are different types of caches and you can use different solutions for that. You can use, for example, Redis if you would like to, and based on that, you will start optimizing it. And these cache components are quite capable. So if I remember correctly, it's 100,000 requests per second, for example, for Redis. So quite a lot. Of course, you will be using your RAM. So then if you have 16 gigabytes of RAM and you have a lot of data that you would like to store in cache, it just won't fit in this one cache instance, but you can then replicate these cache instances. So this is the other way around, that you can optimize your reads. Of course, there might be situations where your data is growing that much that all these solutions that I mentioned are not enough. then you might start thinking about integration of data lake for write operations or data warehouse for read operations. However, these are the solutions that most of us will not touch on our daily basis in the applications, commercial applications that we are working with. So this is the topic that I would like for sure to talk about someday, but not in this episode. Let me know, how do you like this kind of YouTube episode where I am describing some complex topic in very easy way in very short time? And additional question, would you like to see how to handle in practice such replication where we have one write database and a lot of read databases, or maybe including some cache in between? If yes, I would be glad. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hear you next week where we will be talking about write operations.